My favorite science story this week is about how Ryan Reynolds really feels about Jimmy Fallon. Well, okay, not directly. There's this new scientific review article out this week that I'm obsessed with. It offers an evolutionary explanation as to why we are all just so obsessed with celebrity gossip. And it makes me feel a lot better about what I've considered a weak part of my personality. Here's the basic idea. We're social creatures, and of course, we already know this means we need one-on-one relationships like a best friend or a romantic partner or maybe a mentor, things like that. But the authors of this review say we need something else too, and it's something that's totally separate from that. It's that we need to belong to a group. They call this social embeddedness. And their argument is this is a basic human instinct that has been baked into us by evolution. It has helped us form societies, it's helped us win wars, it's helped us develop farming and trade and all the other things that come from living in a community. And they argue that this need to belong to a community is so basic to human nature that it gives us these urges to do things. And we don't always know why we have the urge or how it fits into the big picture. So, for example, you know that feeling when you're at a sporting event and the crowd goes nuts because a goal was scored and everybody jumps up and cheers at the same time and you're cheering along with them? That feels really good. And maybe this is why. Or you know that feeling when you're at a concert and you're singing along with 50,000 other people. That feels good too, and this is probably why. You probably remember how bad it felt during the pandemic when you couldn't be part of a crowd at all. Maybe the reason that was so hard on all of us is this, that we have this need that's built into us to belong to a group. But here's the thing, it's obvious why being in a literal crowd would scratch that itch, but why would it relate to the fact that I spent way too much time today watching Will Arnett explain Canadian terms on the internet?
A kerfuffle. Do you guys not have that word down here? Kerfuffle is like a mix-up, a big thing, a brouhaha, a kind of a fight.
The authors argue that when we engage with celebrity culture, we're getting a lot of the same feelings as we get from spending time in a crowd. And listen, I know I'm not friends with Will Arnett. I'm not talking to him. He's not talking to me, although I feel like we could really get along if he ever wanted to reach out. I'm open to that, Will. Go ahead. But here's the thing. When I watch Will Arnett in that video, it's not satisfying my need for a one-on-one friend. It's satisfying my need to be part of a group. And I know he's just one person, but he represents whole universes that I've been spending time in, right? Like I watched all of Arrested Development. He's part of that. So I feel like when I'm spending time with him, I'm back in that world. Or Lego Batman or BoJack Horseman. Whatever world he built, I get to visit that again and I get to scratch that itch. And actually, the authors even argue that this is sort of the reason we enjoy TV shows so much. Like, think of The Office. You know you're not friends with Jim and Pam, but if you spend 22 minutes watching The Office, you feel like you've just spent 22 minutes as part of a group. And there's actually scientific research that's cited in this review that shows that when people feel lonely, they're more likely to watch a TV show, and that having watched a TV show, they now feel less lonely. So listen, next time you're fawning over some hot goss about Ryan Reynolds and Jimmy Fallon, cut yourself a break. It's not because you're wasting time, it's because you're built that way by evolution. I mean, you are wasting time, but at least you know why. I love it when something that seems totally unscientific has a science angle that makes it more interesting. And if you're like me and you like to see the world that way, you should sign up for my newsletter. It's called The Bat Signal. Just go to followthebatsignal.com.